and welcome to the Free State Arts Festival. I'm Ricky Mayberg, and today with us in studio we have Erwin Maas. Welcome, Erwin.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
It's good to be here.
So tell me, you are involved with a lot of workshops here.
Yes.
You have been doing workshops.
I know people are probably going to think, oh, there's him again with his viewpoint workshop because it's the third year in a row. Mm-hmm. But this year it's slightly different though because it's part of something bigger basically. So 2 years ago when I came here for the first time in Bloemfontein for the festival, Ricardo, the artistic director of the festival, and I, we talked. And we actually had a long table discussion in Pacos about something that year came out in a report of the United Nations, which was that from all the international cultural or creative output, so touring, co-productions, exchanges, only 1% comes from the African continent, which is shocking. Sure. Particularly knowing how big the African continent is and how much creativity there is. Now we know reasons why, funding, logistics, all of those things, connections. But we had a meeting with the incubator artists from Pacos that are from the townships around Bloemfontein, a lot of them, or areas around Bloemfontein. And we had the head of the National Arts Council, the CEO of the National Arts Council, Jerry Mofokeng was there as Pacos, Ricardo was there, international people were there. And we had a talk around the table about how can we increase that number? What can we do to make more links happen within Africa and for artists from Africa to outside? And that's where PACE was born, the Pan-African Creative Exchange. That's what PACE stands for. But I love that we call it PACE because PACE also means movement. Yeah. And in Latin, it means with peace, pace. So I think it's really nice that we start an event that is a networking event, showcasing event, pitching new ideas event, workshop event, but particularly creating connections for artists and creative people on the continent with each other, but also on the continent with each other to outside the continent. And that's what PACE is meaning to be. We've always here. But since there were so many international people this year already at the festival, and this TEAS auditorium, today are the workshops. There's 3 workshops, one about pitching, international networking and pitching your work, one about, and then I myself am giving a workshop about viewpoints. Now, I know many of them, but this year it will work interdisciplinary. And then tomorrow is at there are 8 artists that are pitching work, so they get 5 minutes to pitch idea to all. And then we go to the Olivenhuis, where there's an art, creative arts. The bigger PACE next year will be, and it will be part of the festival. So next year, there's going to be a lot of international people in Bloemfontein. And I foresee if this goes well, there might be even more international people in Bloemfontein going forward than in Grahamstown for the festival. Because the interesting thing is that what Ricardo is doing with this festival, it's not just showcasing international work, because there's actually not a lot of international work besides from outside of Africa I'm talking about. But he does bring in international artists, but that create work here with local people, like myself, working now with GIF, with Tinari and Atantwa. We create work here. And I think that's the nice thing about this festival, is that it's really showcasing work that comes from the continent and artists from the continent. And I think that's what international people are getting more and more interested in. So that's what PACE is, and that's where my workshop sits in. Okay. It also is somewhat linked to the PIAT Forum, which happens every year. PIAT stands for the Program for Innovation in Art Form Development. That's a relationship between the festival and UFS, the university. And this year, I believe, if I'm saying it correctly, it's all about the intersection of technology, science, and arts. Okay. And the forum is on Thursday, and I'll be also one of the speakers there on behalf of an organization that I work for in New York called Decades Out. And Decades Out is an organization on the intersection of arts, science, and policy. So they work on a project that's now called the Weather Project, which is about climate change and what artists are doing to impact that, and also the Science of Violence is their new project, which really brings together artists, law enforcement, and scientists again.
Wow. So busy all the
Busy,
way.
busy, yes, yes. And you see that I've done the pitch before.
Yes.
I know how to say it all.
That's
It's
good.
a lot. It's a lot. I'm sorry for that.
No, that's fine. It's good to let people know that what you are doing and what they can be involved with.
Yes.
Yes.
It's exciting. I'm telling you, the festival has been changing in the 2 years that I've been here now. This is the 3rd year, and it's really wonderful to see how it has developed and how much more different languages are part of the festival, different nationalities. So it's really quite extraordinary how in 2 years' time this festival has grown to be such an inclusive festival, and not just inclusive of different languages and ethnicities, but also inclusive of different works, different forms. Piat is a big part of that, is to create different forms. So it's really great. It's a gem, and I think more and more people in South Africa are starting to look at what's happening in Bloemfontein, because it's kind of like this incubator space, and maybe because of Bloemfontein, because 2 years ago when I came here, everybody was like, what the hell do you do in Bloemfontein? But I think part of that is that it allows people to experiment here, which might in Joburg or Cape Town be a little bit different, because there's a lot more eyes there, and here it's you can do stuff, and things are changing rapidly, which is great.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Erwin. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
So if you want to join a workshop, either tomorrow or today, go to the Albert Vessel's auditorium.
Yes.
Thank you.